Hi, this is Anne Free, and I am doing a screencast on our project on the troubleshooting of the e-prescribing problem as found in our module for this week. As we go through this, we'll be working through the four-step process of the troubleshooting to try and be able to solve the problem at hand. And the problem is as follows. Our group, the Superior Care Health Group, had installed a new electronic prescription system in order to send their prescriptions to pharmacies electronically. The system had been working very well until recently, and now the system is displaying errors periodically. When this occurs, the prescribing doctor has to call the prescription to the pharmacy, which takes more time than needed. Our new office manager, Braden Thomas, has been trying to find a problem to this, and what he's found so far is what is on the screen here. He has asked us to troubleshoot what this means and how to be able to find a solution to get this problem taken care of. So by using the troubleshooting process, our first step is to see how the system malfunctions and the symptoms that are identified. So this is basically what we just talked about. We've noticed that the e-prescriptions are not going through to the pharmacy. Our doctor is utilizing more time than needed calling the pharmacy to get this taken care of instead of on patient care. And our error messages are what we are finding as seen on the screen. Moving on to step 2, we try to generate a list of possible causes based on the knowledge that we have, research, and previous experiences. So based on what we're seeing here, we can see that our error message appears to be split into two parts. The first part, right before the comma, is the 07. This is likely standing for the error code. The second part of our message is this last longer part after the comma, which is most likely explaining the reason for this processing error. So we can then correlate that the 07 in our script that we had seen prior stands for processing error 3212, meaning that the Schedule 1 was not allowed, and that the second error that we saw in here was a number 3245, meaning that the problem was that the medication was not in the formulary. Step 3 tells us to be able to grab additional data and basing on a process of elimination, find the cause of the problem. So we're trying to take this message that was seen on the computer screen and then decipher this into real-world terms. So the problem, as we identified, is that the Schedule 1 was not allowed. This most likely means that Schedule 1 refers to the controlled substances that are categorized into this schedule. Schedule 1s are not allowed to be e-prescribed. In fact, they are not even accepted for medical use in most United States, except perhaps for marijuana in certain states. Either way, marijuana is not, and any other Schedule 1 medications are not allowed to be e-prescribed. These do all have to be written prescriptions, which would account for the error that we're seeing. The second problem that we're seeing is that the medication is not in the formulary. Formulary is usually a term that is used by insurance companies to determine what type of medications are covered under their plan that are within a reasonable rate. So most likely it is the medication the doctor had been prescribing is not on this insurance's formulary list for covered medications, and thus that is the reason is getting denied by the pharmacy. Our final step of the troubleshooting process is step 4, where we try to come up with a solution for the problems identified and then test that solution out to confirm that the problem has been solved. So what we'll try to do for this is to adjust the medications and see if they'll now go through the system. For the error that said Schedule 1, we basically have to make sure that we do not prescribe any further Scheduled 1 controlled substances through the system, and then also note that all non-controlled substances are going through as indicated to the pharmacies. For our second problem, we are looking to see if the medication is in the formulary. We can use the insurance's database or call the insurance company and confirm that the medication being prescribed is part of their formulary, and then see that the medication goes through the e-prescribing and makes it all the way to the pharmacy in the end. So hopefully that solves our problem. In scenario 1, we can say that our solutions proposed in step 4 do work, and that we can continue with those adjustments made to the current workflow. If perhaps the solutions that we came up with in step 4 do not work and the tests do continue to give us errors, we'd likely try to go back to step 2 and then work ourselves all the way through step 3 and step 4 again, looking for other potential problems or solutions. If we're really not able to find the correct answer to this, our next step would be to escalate the problem further up to the IT department or to a contracted service that would better be able to serve us. So that is the process for going through that particular error messages, or the error messages seen for the e-prescribing module. Hopefully this has solved the health group's problem, and they will have no further problems and no further loss of patient care time. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll take any questions later.